Do more by doing less. With me, Charles Alexander, for small business owners, startups, and busy folks.
Looks like you've been missing a lot of work lately.
I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob.
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
So look, here it is. I got 3 quick things for you. First, the book, Buy Back Your Time, written by Dan Martell. Fantastic book. Buy Back Your Time. Get unstuck, reclaim freedom, and build your empire. Highly recommend it. I listened to it. I've actually listened to it twice, taken lots of notes, borrowed from it. Good stuff. But here's the thing. Number one, we really can't buy our time. It's a misnomer. When he's talking about buy back your time, he's talking about spending real money to automate or delegate, which is great. Unfortunately, I'm working with entirely too many people who have reached money freedom and have lost their time freedom. Hashtag irony, because that's why they started to do this from the beginning. They're trying to buy their time. I don't care who you are. You can be a CEO of a Fortune 500. You can be a spaceman over the previously known Twitter X. You can be a janitor at a community college. I know several good guys, but they cannot buy back their time. We all have 24 hours in the day. Number 2, I've done this, you've done this. We have time management completely freaking backwards. And I hate the term time management. I know it should be focus management, whatever. It's time management. And we've done it wrong for years. I've taught it wrong for years. I do apologize. I'm on the right path now, though. So first, can't buy back your time. 2, we got time management backwards. And 3, time block scheduling is only half the battle, folks. And entirely too many people I speak with think they really have their time locked in. Charles, I've got, I stick to the calendar. It's, whether it's paper, it's Google, and people get pretty excited over it. And they got all their time blocked out. Oh, and it's color coded. Well, and if it says it's on the calendar, I do it. And then I meet with them at the end of the week and say, what'd you do? It's like, well, this week we had a little exception this week. Every week is an exception. That means no week is the exception. Blocking off your schedule is only half the battle. And like we said, growing up, if you're a G.I. Joe kid, knowing is half the battle. I think the other half of the battle was red lasers and blue lasers, and none of those guys ever got shot. Anyway, different story for a different day. So look, after those 3 quick things, it's made me think about other times in my life where I, realized I was only doing half the battle. So starting back in 2016, I started getting a little bit of knee pain in my left knee. I remember son Lane was out there playing soccer. He was, I don't know, 3, 4, way too young to be playing soccer, but he has 2 older sisters that were in gymnastics and dancing. By God, I was going to get a ball in his hands or on his feet. And I went out there and remember I kicked it with my left foot and I almost collapsed. I had just started playing basketball again with some friends, played all growing up, but never really had any injuries. But this wasn't the case anymore. I had just turned 40. And yeah, I guess the cliche was true. I was falling apart. Went and got my knee checked out. They couldn't really figure it out. So I started doing physical therapy. And then when they decided, well, let's, maybe we got to go in and clean it up. We did an x-ray, your meniscus is torn. If you ever go in for a cleanup on your knee, make sure that you know that the doctor you are speaking to at the time has a game plan not to make a game time decision. And they decided to do microfracture surgery. I went from, a few weeks into several months of rehab, and unfortunately it didn't work. Fast forward I switched doctors, by the way. Ugh. So I switched doctors. Fast forward several years later, I am seeing Dr. Burton Elrod out of Nashville, Elite Sports Medicine. I only tell you that because the guy used to be the Tennessee Titans doctor. And he's from a little bitty small town, Centerville, Tennessee. I'm from Hampshire, Tennessee. You know where neither are, but they're right next to each other. And this dude is brilliant. He has pioneered many of the surgeries that I know that are used today. And he is a country bumpkin. And I'm saying that knowing he would think it's funny. And everything he would tell me would be in football terminology. So look, I have tried everything there was. I did all the physical therapy. I did a couple more surgeries, a couple more cleanup surgeries, 2 on my left knee, 1 on my right knee. The right knee decided to catch up, be worse than my left knee. I did stem cells in both. Both worked pretty well for a while. And then I did PRPs where they pull blood out, spin it. I don't know what that means. They pump it back in. It hurts like the dickens, and it works well. But after, I don't know, I guess it was 7 years of doing that, things weren't going well anymore. I'd gotten to the end of my rope, and Dr. Elrod, he'd say, Charles, like year 4 or 5, we're 2nd and 7. You're doing okay. We could probably do a little hitch to the outside and get you a first down. This is football terminology, by the way. I understood what he was saying. And I don't know if he talks to everybody like this or he just think I was too stupid to keep up with him. But either way, I got it. A couple years after that, he said, Charles, it's 3rd and 12. It's not time to punt yet. But we're going to have to try another long pass here. I think it's going to work. We're going to get you over the hump. This is the last time I went in. He just shook his head, looked at me as I just hobbled in like I was an 80-year-old man. If you're 80, I apologize. It's 4th and 27. And I remember it's very specifically 4th and 27. You're not Patrick Mahomes. This isn't going to work anymore. So that was it. It was time for the old double knee replacement. And not everybody gets them both at the same time. I did. It was healthy enough. And thank God I did, because if I didn't, I would swear I'd never go back and get the other one done. And that was half the battle. And I remember people would ask, that it's going to be terrible. It's going to work. And the doctors kept explaining to me, once we replace your knees, that's not it. That's like the beginning of the journey, so to speak. You'll hear this in church all the time when a new Christian gets saved. That's not the end. This doesn't, automatically punch your ticket to heaven and there's no other work. That's when you start living a quote unquote Christian lifestyle. And that, you spend the time here the best that you can. And in this case, physical therapy is at the half the battle. And man, did I learn that very freaking quickly. And you know what hurts? Physical therapy after you've had both knees replaced. And as I would go to physical therapy each and every time, it would be, me and several elderly folks, and like one person's half my age that had torn an ACL because they were an amazing athlete. And you could kind of see the progress of different people going different ways. And I'd see this one old timer's in there is my age, but he was kicking my butt and he was there early. He would stay after, he would do everything they told him to do. And he progressed very quickly. I saw another one, not so much. She waited a long time to go in and do her physical therapy. Didn't do it right away. Literally, when you get your knees replaced, they have you doing physical therapy day of, which is horrific. She decided to wait a few weeks, and then she would skip in between, and her progress was backwards. And I had heard later that she basically set herself up to go back in and have to have her knees replaced again. Not good. So for me, I went in, whatever the physical therapist told me, I did every bit of it to a T. It was painful. It was difficult, but now I'm in a position where my knees feel better than they have in years. Still have occasional pain. All of that to say that was only half the battle. Why do I bring this up? Time blocking, folks, is only half the daggum battle. I know that we, I've talked on this podcast and everywhere else about identifying your priorities, and people get really excited about that, and they do somewhat, and they'll block off time on their calendar, and then they kind of get, we'll just see how it goes. I'll get to it when it's there, and then they just get they get so busy, and we love that. We wear busy like some kind of freaking badge of honor because we can all hide behind busy. We can say, got lots of clients coming in, got lots of new projects, just keeping up with social media and by the old personal life. We're just, and I say this too. I tell people I'm running a free Uber service with my kids and I only have a 1.5 star rating. Haha. But busy is not unique. It's not special. We can all claim busy. So let's quit being busy and start getting some real work done. Blocking out your calendar is a great task. It's a great tool, but then you actually have to do what's on the calendar. For example, I got a client that blocks off regular time to create content. And I know that's a sore spot for a lot of you. However, it's necessary and you should enjoy it because you're talking about the things that you enjoy talking about, like me right now. I could talk about this ad nauseum, but she blocks it off like late Thursday afternoons. What happens to her late Thursday afternoons? She is exhausted. She doesn't want to do it. She puts it off. She gets tired. She gets busy. So it didn't do her much good to do that. I got another client that blocks off time for email. And I preach this till I'm blue in the face. Block off time after lunch and then before you go home. Still can't help it. Checks email first thing in the morning. So that block it just sits there. It doesn't do any good. I got another client that blocks off time Friday afternoons for prospecting. You know when the worst time of the week to do prospecting is? Friday afternoon. But they do that in the hopes of people not being available so they can lie to themselves and anyone else and just say, well, I tried, it's just not available. And look, I've got example after example. Blocking off time is a terrific strategy. So for you, what you want to do is identify the tasks that you should be doing in your business, the things you love doing, the things you enjoy doing, the things you're good at doing, the things that move the needle. But when you block off that time, you have to actually use it. So the first thing you want to do before you block off time is figure out where your time is going. I'll use this example over and over. If you've ever created a personal budget and you decided that you were going to start cutting costs all the way across the board without looking at how much you spent on those current items, that budget probably went in the trash after week one. I've done this time and again with our family like an idiot. Hey guys, all right, we're only going to spend $700 on groceries this month, and we're only going to do $200 on gas and, kids activities, $100. Man, that's basically cutting everything, in half in some cases. It's not doable. So figure out where your time is going first, folks. If you got to sit down and write it down, if you got to use your phone to track it, if you've got to use a spreadsheet, I don't care. Figure out where your time is going first. And then once you do that, then you can start blocking off time appropriately. Block off time for the priorities that only you could do. Block off time to batch like items together. Block off time that you're going to use to train other people and delegate stuff. Block off times for the things that matter most to you. But don't do it the other way around. Don't do it backwards like I've done it for years, where you just block off time and then hope and pray you can make it happen. That's half the battle. As for me, my knees feel better than ever before. Appreciated Dr. Elrod. And as far as you, I love the book, Buy Back Your Time. But in reality, folks, you can't buy back your time. Once it's gone, it's gone. Once you block off that time, do what's on the calendar. Don't take off just yet. I've created a new program just for you, helping overworked entrepreneurs create their very own 4-day work week in 90 days or less. Look, if you'd rather spend more time with family, friends, traveling, exercising, having the time to do what you want instead of, putting out never-ending fires, tackling another to-do list, and checking email at 9 p.m., then go to my website, yourcharlesalexander.com. If you've created the income you want but don't have the time freedom you deserve, then this is for you. And as always, if you don't, an angel may actually lose its wings. True story. Have a great day.